Hey everyone, what's up? It's Bree. Say hey when you pop on. Let me know you're there. Thanks for joining me today. Happy New Year, you guys. It's 2025. It's January 2nd. So we're already day two into the new year, which is crazy that we've made it this far. But listen, we closed up 2024, had an amazing year. And for me personally, one of my biggest goals is to always have my best financial year of my career. And so that is something that I actually have done for the last few years. At least I would say, at least the last 4 years, have had that goal personally. And we closed out 2024 as our best financial year in my career. And so, without hesitation, that is my goal for 2025: is just to up my game in so many different levels. Personal development being one, getting in the rooms with the people who are the next level for me. It's about creating more, it's about giving more, it's about performing more, right? Like, so instead of, this is something that I've already started putting into play, and I'm pretty proud of myself, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back here. But one of my biggest problems was procrastination. I actually have a mind that is always creating. There's always an idea running through here. In fact, many a nights it's hard to sleep if I wake up like 5 a.m. with an idea and it just runs, right? Well, here's where I was getting in trouble. I was going, okay, I've got this. Yes, that's so good. And then I would put it off to actually do, to start, to begin, to create, to whatever, until I felt it was the right time, or until I could, put myself together, because maybe right then at that second I didn't have my makeup on, or I wasn't presentable enough for camera, or whatever it might be. I would use all these excuses not to get into action. And so that's one of my biggest things. And, something that I'm very proud of myself, even on day two of 2025 of creating. And part of that you're looking at right now as I go into this video. I've been thinking about the new year. I've been thinking about everyone setting goals. We did some neuro workshops last year. We did a couple of them. So we did two 90-day neuro workshops that were phenomenal. And we worked with Ms. Deb Erickson. And I watched people go through these goals that they had for themselves. And when they felt unattainable, or if they said, oh, that one was just too big, I'm not going to hit it. So then they give up, right? So what I wanted to talk about today is an idea, this thought process that I've been processing, while thinking about how goals went from 2024, not just for myself, but from business partners or clients or whoever it might be. And I started doing some research. And the statistics show that 92% of people who set goals, okay, first of all, I think like 30 something percent of people actually even set goals, okay, and then 92% of them that set them don't achieve the goals that they set at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, okay, how can we change this? And so that's what I want to talk about today, is helping you set goals that you will be able to achieve by the end of the year, but not just set goals that you can achieve, how to pivot if and when life or business or hurdles or whatever it might be pop up, and it becomes where you feel like the goal that you have set is unattainable. How can we pivot to where we actually get the success from the goal, and then still have the goal to achieve by a certain time frame? Okay, so here's the one thing. I'm going to go through two things here, as far as they're two simple steps to help you achieve, to not just achieve, but to set and achieve the goal that you want to achieve by the end of this year. Okay, so that's the one piece to it. The other thing is, I am a massive fan of setting multiple goals. Okay, so we've all heard about the big, hairy, audacious goals. Okay, that was I can't remember who did it, but it was, I believe, on a TED talk. And so, do I love big, hairy, audacious goals? 100%. Many of you have heard me talk about, in my office, my mirror that sits behind my computer. It says $1 million month. Like, that is my next big, hairy, audacious goal. Okay. So one thing I want you to do is, I want you to have a big, hairy, audacious goal that you're working towards. Now, I'm going to tell you on that one, you can set a time frame to it, but I want you to be realistic, right? Like, if you're only making, let's just use for an example, right? If you're only making 100K a month, or 10K a month, or whatever it might be, and your big, hairy, audacious goal is $1 million month, well, is it going to happen in the next 365? Probably not. Could it? Sure. Right. But like, let's really say, and you need to, and here's something that we'll do in a future training, I'll actually help you reverse engineer your goals so that you can have a more well, your timeline will be more realistic. Let's just put it that way, right? But you have to know the work that needs to be done to achieve the goal. You have to have all of that. If you don't know the work that needs to be done to achieve the goal, then we're basically saying, "Hey, let's go to the final destination without a map," right? So yes, one, have a big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm a fan of having multiple goals throughout the year. So I would have a goal to achieve by the end of this year. So I want you to put a date on it, right? I want you to put a date on it. What is the big goal? Where and it's a realistic one. Again, if we're at 1,000, 10,000, even $100,000 a month, and we want to have $1 million month, let's be realistic about where we could be by the end of the year. Okay. And I want you to write this down. Here's another thing is I want you to journal all of it. Not in the phone, not on a computer. Don't keep it in here. I want you to physically, there is something neurological that goes when you go from your brain through your hand onto paper that really anchors some of this in a little bit deeper. So I want you to get a journal. It is a new year. So I would recommend getting a new journal. And if you're like, well, I still have one that I'm working out of, well, let's transfer. Okay. Again, anchoring even deeper the knowledge or whatever the other journal that you're working out of into a new one. Or you could just start really fresh 2025 goals and move on from there. But the biggest part to this, I want you to write it down. Write down your big, hairy, audacious goal and your timeline. Write down your 365 timeline. I want you to write down what is the goal that you're going to achieve by the end of this year. All right. The next thing you could pick some of these, right? Some people like a 30-day goal. Some people like a 60-day goal. Some people like a 90-day goal. I'll just tell you my personal favorites. The 60-day goal, 30 days tells me if I need to adjust, right? So I like a 30-day goal. I want to achieve something by the end of this month, right? The 60-day goal, it's kind of a check-in point. So if you want to have a check-in point there, it's going to keep you on track, then fine, have one. You could do every 30 days if you wanted to, right? Then you want to have a 90-day goal. I love a 90-day goal. That 3 months is we put something into practice. Have we achieved what we were looking to achieve after 30 days? Okay, we're on the right track. Let's run this for another 2 months. And at the end of 90 days, let's see where we're at. Okay, so I love a 90-day goal. 30 and 90-day goals are really some of my big ones. I like a 6-month goal, and then I like a year goal. Those are the ones I choose. Now, you could do goals once a quarter. Whatever works for you to keep you on track, because we are all wired differently. If you need more accountability, if you need every 14 days, then make it every 14 days. But just make sure that you are writing down the goal with a timeline date, and you're checking back in on that when that goal date is up. Okay. The other thing is this. The reality of achieving the goal is it has to be worked on every single day. Every single day. So what I'm going to challenge you to do, and you might have seen me talk about this on other videos, but I'm very passionate about this, is when you wake up every day in that journal, I want you to journal your intentions of what you're going to accomplish that morning for the day. I want you to journal it that morning. So again, get your journal out. In the morning of every day, set your intentions to be intentionally successful for the day. So what this is going to do is a few different things. Again, this is all very neuroscience, right? This is very neurological. This is very rewiring for success. Is you want to set your intentions on a positive note. What are you going to get done today? And what does that mean? What does that look like? What does the accomplishment feel like? I want you to brain dump all of that into a journal at the beginning every day. So maybe your goal for the day is to set up a landing page. And it's something you've been putting off forever. Well, that's something you can accomplish in one single day. Get it done today. That would be, okay, it's my goal for today. I'm going to accomplishment. And when that happens, that means I can step up into the next level of what I'm doing to run my business, right? Or that means that I can go and I can learn, okay, I've got the landing page down. Now I can go learn how to market it. I can go learn how to build the network, right? So what are you going to do each and every day with intention to achieve something by the end of the day that when you achieve it plus everything else for the rest of the month, right? It will add up to a successful month. Does that make sense? If you're understanding what I'm saying, say got it in the chat. Okay? You want to write down and journal your intentions each and every day with a task, with an action. Maybe it's message you're going to get into the inbox of 5 new people. Okay, what is it that you're going to do today that is going to be your success for today? That when you add up all of your successes for the month, you've achieved your goal at the end of the month. This has to be worked on daily. So it's one of those things when we talk about mindset and we talk about skill set, right? The mindset, you guys, has to be worked on every single day. I can give you every tool, in which I will. If you follow along close enough, make sure you're subscribed. I will give you tools that will help you when you come up against hurdles from your mindset, right? That lack mentality, when those types of things, that self-doubt, that fear, when all those things pop up, you might have all the tools in the world to overcome, which then helps you grow, which then helps you go to the next level, and you get to reach your goals, right? But if you are not utilizing the tools each and every day, it becomes like we're at the beach, right? We're at the bay. So I'm thinking saltwater here. It could be a rusty pair of scissors. Like they were great scissors when you got them, and they would cut through every fabric that you would ever have. I've heard these fabric scissors are something to be not to be played with, right? But if you left them outside in the rain next to the ocean, they're going to get rusty, right? If you're not utilizing them. Same thing with our mindset, with our intentions, with our goals. We have to be laser focused on them every day. We have to work on overcoming obstacles every single day. We have to work on utilizing our tools that we have to rewire our mindset and rewire our brain for success, right? If you're not using them, they're not growing, that's for sure. You're not getting any better at them. So when the hurdles do come, it's going to be harder than it would have been if you were consciously aware and practicing the tools, right? Same thing with skill set. Riding a bike, right? None of us just hopped on it and went. The more we got out there in the road and tried, the better we got. And here's the other thing. Even if you could hop on a bike 20 years later after not riding a bike, sometimes, let's talk about ice skating. We tried that this winter, this Christmas season. I used to ice skate all the time. This fun fact in Houston. But we had the aerodrome, so we had the hockey team. And so me and my friend Christina, we would go every Friday night. Our parents would drop us off at the ice skating rink. We would ice skate. I could ice skate so well. I haven't done it in years and years and years. I think I ice skated in Tennessee maybe a decade ago. I don't know. And so we took the boys, my 2 boys, ice skating. And first thing I did, I got the ice skates on. I stepped on that rink, and I literally looked at my sister-in-law and I said, I don't think I can do it. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset. Like I was wobbly. I figured it out, right? But it did take me a minute to really, and I still, by the end of it, wasn't as good as I used to be. But I know for a fact if I would keep ice skating, I would get right back to where I was. And if I kept going even beyond that, I would get even better, right? Same thing with any sort of business skill set. You got to learn it, okay? But you can't stay the student. You got to go put it into practice. And when you start putting what you learn into practice over and over again, actually, eventually you might even become the teacher of the skill, right? Because you've used what you've learned and it either worked or it didn't, and you adjusted. You learned something, you used it, and you adjust it. And so these types of things, just like a skill set that needs, in order to get better at it, you just have to keep using it. How do the no's get easier? You get more yeses because you're talking to more people. How does public speaking get any easier? You push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You get in front of people and you say to yourself, well, Bree, you either do it or you embarrass yourself. Okay, step into it, let's rock, right? And the more you do it, the less the butterflies show up when it's time to go on stage. These types of things, you just have to do it over and over and over and over and over again. And the goal is not to get perfect. It's not to be perfect. If you ever think you've reached a point of perfect, okay, all you do is die from there. It's just to get better and better and better and better. One of my favorite things to say, get bigger, better, better, right? That's what we are working towards. That's why we are putting the skill set and the mindset to work every single day so that we can grow to become bigger, fatter, better in everything that we do, right? Think about it. If you dove more into the Bible and went to church, not just on Sundays, but maybe you go to a study group on Wednesdays or something like that, you would end the year with more knowledge. And I would even beg to say that you'd be even closer to Christ than you are today, right? Because if you are living it at a higher level on a daily basis, you only get better. You actually don't have an option, right? Okay. So first, we want to set the goal, and we want to set realistic goals. I want you to feel on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 1 being we're not going to hit the goal. We have a 1% chance of hitting the goal, okay? 1 being not going to happen, 10 being in the bag. I've got all the confidence in the world, okay? I want you to be somewhere like I would say anywhere between 4 and 6. Right? It's okay to even be on the other side of really calm. You could be at like the 6 level when you feel like, hey, the chances of this gonna actually happen in my time frame. I want it to be a challenge. Here's a secret. If you're always achieving your goals, you're not setting big enough goals. If you're always achieving the goals that you have set for yourself, you're simply not setting big enough goals. Here's the thought behind that. 1, I want you to push yourself. I want you to get outside your comfort zone. If you're achieving everything you set forward to do, then you are living in your comfort zone. If you've been living in your comfort zone, put comfort in the chat. And the other piece behind this is it's okay to not get there. What is it? Shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Most of you, actually, I would even say probably 90+% of people who set goals and get to a point where they don't believe they're actually going to achieve the goal they set, they just quit. How many of you quit? How many of you have quit on a New Year's resolution? Put me in the chat. Okay. But if you went into the goal setting process knowing, hey, this is what I'm going to strive for, knowing I'm going to be myself, knowing I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and it's okay if I don't get there, but I'm going to do everything I can, everything in my power to do what it takes to achieve it. As long as you are doing whatever it takes to achieve it along the way, it's okay if we don't get there. And it doesn't mean we get rid of the goal. Here's part 2. You set the goal, you put the deadline. Okay, I want you to set multiple goals. Maybe it's a 30, 90, 6 month. Wait, it's a 30-day, 90-day, 6 month, and 1 year goal. Those are the ones that I like to set. And then when you are working through your goals, having little mini goals daily that will add up to those 30, 90, 6 month, and a year goals, right? When you get to a point, because if you've stretched yourself far enough, you will get to this point where you feel like the goal, the next goal, and the deadline is unachievable. And you might want to quit. I want you to do something different. I want you to pivot instead. I want you to adjust the goal date on that big goal. Okay, so I'm just going to use a round number for example here. Let's just say you want to make $1 million this year. Okay. And so for that to happen in your head, you're like, in 6 months, I want to be making $500,000. Okay. On pace to make the $1 million, right? Just go with me here. Adjust to your goal. If that were the goal and you got to 6 months and you're making $100,000 a month. By the way, if you hear these numbers and you're like, wouldn't that be nice? I want you to understand there are thousands of people who do it. And if there are tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, I don't know, of people who, no, probably tens of thousands I would go with. There are tens of thousands of people who make over $100,000 a month. And if we can do it, there's absolutely no reason why you can't. So if you hear these numbers that I'm giving the big ones on purpose because I want you to stretch what's possible for you and your mindset. So even if it's at a subconscious level, I want your brain to go, oh, 100 grand a month is actually 1,000,000% doable. Oh, making $500,000 in 6 months is actually 100% doable, because there are people, thousands of people who are doing it. That means that it is possible for you. You just have to get the mindset and the skill set in place to make it happen. Okay. So back to what I was saying. So let's say you're at 100 grand a month, or I'm sorry, no, 100 grand for, let's say we're at month 5 and you've only made 100 grand and you're like, I am not on target to make 500 grand by 6 months. Okay. We don't go, never mind, I don't have a desire or target or goal to be a millionaire ever again. You don't just drop the goal of making 500 grand in 6 months and 1,000,000 in a year. We just adjust the time. Okay, so right then and there, when it feels unachievable, pivot. I want you to adjust it. You have permission to do so. Okay. But I don't want you to say, oh, okay, well, because here's what people will do. You'll go, oh, well, if I can just always adjust the time on my goals, then it really doesn't matter what I put. Let me just put that I'm going to earn $1 million this month right now. I'll earn it this month then. Let's just put that goal on there, right? Let's put that date on there. Then your mindset goes to what the consequence of that. If you thought that you could always just adjust the goals, and so goals and dates never really mattered, in the moments, on the days when you were trying to add up, when you're trying to collect successes every single day, you actually would subconsciously, sometimes consciously, put in your mind that the action can be held off till tomorrow. You're actually creating procrastination within you. I've learned that the hard way. I admitted that at the beginning of this video, right? And so we can't just say, oh, the dates don't matter because I can adjust them. I want you to put the stretch goals on there. I want you to push yourself. I want you to get outside of your comfort zone. I want you to really do what it takes every single day, collect the mini successes that add up to the big successes every single day. And I want you to be committed to the timeline. But when and if, and hopefully when, because again, we're stretching ourselves far enough. We're creating goals that will push us and we may or may not achieve, all right, by the end of the year. But when the unachievability feeling comes in, we go, all right, it's time to adjust that discipline here, right? Accountability here. It's time to adjust that. But now, in place of that goal that I was supposed to have accomplished by the end of the month, I need a new goal to accomplish by the end of the month. And here's a suggestion. On your daily goals, on your previous goals that you had, before you got to the month where you're like, I'm off track, I'm not going to get to the target, the goals that you set and the successes that you collected previous to this point where you're feeling like it's unachievable, I want you to go back. Okay, plan, do, review. Go through and review what you did that was successful. Okay. And one of those things that you did, I want you to set a new goal. So just for example here, let's say maybe you had, let's just go, maybe you had 10 new customers in a month. Okay. And even with the 10 new customers, or even business partners, whatever it might be, even with those 10 new customers month after month, we're still not on track for that goal, right? So we need a new plan. So if 10 customers a month didn't get us to the goal that we needed, and we needed to adjust the date on that goal, not scrap the goal, adjust the date on that goal, then we need to up the mini goals. Okay, so now I probably need to go get 20 new customers a month in order to get to my goal by the new date. Are you guys on track? Are you guys following? If you're following, put following in the comments. You don't scrap the big, hairy, audacious goal. You don't scrap the goal that feels unachievable when you get too close, because maybe you screwed up. Maybe you procrastinated and you could wear all of that on your shoulders, right? Maybe life happened, something, turmoil happened in life and we had a setback. Maybe you worked your tail off and it's just not there. It's what we thought we could achieve just isn't going to happen by the date we set to that goal. We don't scrap the goal. we adjust the deadline, and we add a new goal. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. And this is one that, this is a story from my mentor, Deb. And this was something she shared in the workshop. And it was like, that's brilliant. Okay. So she was saying she grew up playing basketball and they were playing like a playoff game of some sort. And they were down like 100-0. Not really, right? But they just knew in the last 30 seconds of the game or 2 minutes of the game, whatever it was, that there was no way, no possible way on earth to win the game. So when they went into the game, the goal was what? To win the game, obviously, right? And when they got far enough into it, they realized that was an unachievable goal. And so everyone was playing down and down and down. And, that the morale of the team was down, the energy was down, all of these things. And the coach said, we're not done. We're not done. And what she did was she said that we have a new goal. We understand that the goal that we set out to achieve today, we are not going to achieve. But that doesn't mean that we don't walk out of here with our heads held high, achieving something. And so there was a player on the team who had never made a 3-point shot, right? And so she just looked at the player and said, we're going to give the ball. We're just going to say, Molly, we're passing to Molly. Molly's going to be on the 3-point line. And our new goal is for Molly to hit a 3-point shot before the season is over. And so the team's like, all right, we're on board, right? This gave them new energy, something new to shoot for. So they were excited again. They're like, yeah, we got to get Molly the ball. What are we going to do? This is the game plan. Okay, get Molly the ball. She's on that 3-point. Make sure that she's clear and not being covered. And she's going to get a clear shot to that basket. Everyone has a part in this role because it's a team, right? And so the time's going, I think it was like 30 seconds or something like that. So they're going down the court and they're doing their game plan, passing. 2 seconds left, fling Molly the ball. Molly pops up, jumps, shoots, scores the 3-point. And guess what? The team went wild. Wow! Yeah! We did it! They didn't win the game. And everyone in the stands is like, why? You guys lost. You realize that you lost, right? But because they didn't give up on the goals, right? They pivoted. All they did was set a new goal to happen by the end of that game. So if you're in a month where it doesn't feel like you're going to hit a goal by the end of the month, just adjust. And we'll go after that one next month. So this team, they go after it next year, right? In the playoffs. And they're going to have goals that are going to get them there throughout the next year to get them to that playoff game so that they can perform better, so that they can win and move to the next level. Same thing with you. Okay. So all we're going to do is adjust in the month we have, with the time we have, with a new goal we can achieve. We're going to collect the success. We're going to feel excited and exhilarated about it. And then we're just going to take that goal that we had for this month and we're going to move it over to next month. And we're going to take what we've done to achieve the success that we've achieved thus far, and we're going to double it so that we have a better shot at getting to that goal, which means if you're going to double the work, right? If you're going to go out and get if you've been getting 10 new customers, you're going to go out and get 20 new customers this month. Well, then you got to double the workload too. Okay. You can't just double the goal without doubling the work. So if you did 10 customers last month and it took you, 10 hours to get those 10 customers, we got to work in 20 hours so that we can get the 20 customers. It's about adjusting. It's about the work and the action aligning with the goals. And it's about not quitting. One of the biggest things I see when it comes to goal setting, especially at the beginning of a new year, we all see this, okay? People got to quit quitting. People give up on their goals, on their dreams, on their ability, on their impact, on their passion, on their drive, on themselves, far too easily. You got to quit quitting. You got to keep going. Readjust the goal. Collect the success for that moment, for that day, for that month. And if you collect enough successes, guys, understand this. You will win every time in the end. Because even if you didn't get to, if you were collecting the little successes along the way, adjusting your goals as you go along, even if you didn't get to $1 million a year, you'd be able to evaluate where the work you did got you. And based on that information, you're more likely to set a more achievable stretch goal in 2026. Okay. Do you understand how this is what you're going through this year will actually set you up for achieving even more year after year after year for years to come, right? But it starts with now and not quitting. It starts with not giving up on you. It starts now. And we got to do something different, because if you've given up on all of your goals, whether it's a weight loss goal, whether it's a wealth goal, whether it's a personal development goal, whatever the goal has been in the past that you have not achieved, what happened? Why aren't you still working towards it? Did you scrap all the work that you already did for it? And you keep starting over. Okay? I want you to be laser focused in on the goal. I want you to be intentional every single day. Journal your intentions for that day and what you're going to achieve. I want you to collect as much data as humanly possible throughout the entire year, throughout 2025, so that when we get to the end of the year and we look back on everything that you have achieved, every success that you have collected, again, we're going to have the data that is going to help us set up from this year forward. We will have enough data, okay, to set us up for success in our goal setting from every year moving forward. Because we can say, hey, 20 new customers a month didn't get me there. Maybe I need 100. Okay, well, if I was putting in 20 hours a month, maybe I need to put in 100, right? And a huge piece of that is to stop chasing the carrot. We talked about this on my last live. We have to have the passion and the drive in our gut that hurts more than not doing the work does. And I'm not going to get off on that soap tangent, but here's the thing. You should not be chasing the carrot, the excitement, the money, the trips, the cars, the houses, the lifestyle. That is not enough to achieve. You have to dig really deep. You have to peel back a lot of onion layers and figure out, hey, if I don't sit down and do the work, if I decide to go sit on the couch, if I decide to go out tonight, before I've gotten the work I know I need to get done today, if I decide, because it is a decision and is your choice, if you are deciding to do things that will set you back, you're literally deciding that the pain of not achieving is greater than the pain of getting the work done. It comes to a point when you have to, one, really truly be in this to serve and help, and have not having enough service stories, not having enough success stories, right? My biggest passion, even the thought of it just made my breath. My biggest passion is helping people out earn anything they've ever done. In fact, my biggest passion is helping people realize that they're capable, worthy, and that they can achieve anything that like their wildest dreams. My biggest passion is watching people do the work that it takes to grow into a mindset that goes, no, $1 million a month, 100%. If other people can do it, there's no reason why I can't. I just have to learn the skill set, work on my mindset, and get to work. My greatest passion is to inspire people to realize that their circumstances, past, present, doesn't matter. Your circumstances don't determine your outcome. Your action does. Your energy does. Quit quitting on you. Understand that you're capable. Understand that you're worthy. Understand that you deserve. But more than anything, get into action. Look at opportunities. Be open to opportunities. Connect with a mentor. Follow someone who's doing what you want to do. Follow someone who's living the way you want to live. Let them pour into you. But get into action. Have your daily goals. Collect success along the way. Set your timestamps on your goals. Adjust and pivot when needed. Adjust the timestamp if needed. Pivot when needed. And be prepared. I'm telling you guys, this is a fresh, clean slate. 2025 is a clean slate for you. And if you will get serious about it this time, this could set the stage for the rest of your life to where you start achieving success. You right now, the person you are right now can't even wrap your head around the person you're becoming. And the reason why I know this to be true is 13 years ago, I set out to make $1,000 a month. I started in something I had never tried before. I had a lot of skeptics. I had a lot of learning to do. I had a lot of failing to do. I had a lot of winning to do. I had a lot of adjusting to do. I set out to earn $1,000 a month and turn that into an 8-figure legacy for myself, my family, that will live on beyond me. So the reason why I know what you're capable, worthy, and deserving of is abundance beyond what you could even believe right now. The reason why I know that to be true is because I've lived it. And I'm not even done. But what my success up until this point has done is it's put me in this mindset where when I look at $1 million month on my mirror every single day that I go into my office, when I look at that, it doesn't seem unachievable. I know all I have to do is put in enough action, the right action, serve enough people, the right people. The more people I help, the closer to that goal I'm going to get. I know all of that to be true. And the only way I'm not getting there is if I quit. So I'm going to ask you guys, are you committed to the goals you're going to make? And if you are, I want you to put committed in the chat. And then I want you to take the next 30 minutes to an hour. And I want you to brain dump in your journal what you're going to create. And I want you to write it as if it has already come true. What you're going to create in 2025. I want you to write it as if it has already come true. I am so grateful, thankful, and blessed that in 2025, I might have started the year in this position, but that I was committed, that I was learning, that I followed, that I maybe set your budget. I'm going to have a personal development budget. I'm going to have a business budget. I'm going to have a grocery budget, right? I want you to get so very clear on what 2025 looks like for you and what you are holding on to and have achieved by the end of it. And I want you to take it, whatever your goal dates are, 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is for you, right? And I want you to say, by the end of January, I will have write your achievement. By the end of the first 90 days, the first quarter of 2025, I will have messaged X amount of people, done X amount of lives, had X amount of customers and business partners. What are you achieving? Get very clear on your year and your commitment to it. Brain dump it onto some paper. And it's something that I want you to read at least once a week to anchor that in, to keep the passion, the drive, and understand that if we don't get into action on the days that we don't feel like it, that everything that we have on that paper, we're choosing to forego. Sometimes you just have to get so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sometimes it takes that. Honestly, some of the most successful people that I worked with started their business while on food stamps, government assistance, backs up against the wall. It was do or die. I could go back. I kind of found myself in that place almost 5 years ago, where I had worked so hard and built something so big. And if I didn't adjust and pivot, I could have lost it all. It was do or die. What's your do or die? That's a place you have to get to in order to achieve the success that you want. You have to become so sick and tired, sick and tired. You have to become where there is no ifs, ands, or buts. Like I'm not willing to live average means. I'm not willing to live below average means. I'm not willing to wish I had the life that so-and-so had. I'm not willing to wish I had the car I want to drive. I'm not willing to just wish I could go on a shopping spree without looking at the price tag. I'm not willing to live below who I am and the potential I'm worthy of creating. And that starts level by level, you guys. Understand that. The goals that you set this year are at the level you're at. And the real goal is growth by the end of this year. So that next year's goals, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10x what they were this year. The goal is growth. And the only way to get it is through action. If you found value in this, I would appreciate you putting value in the chat and sharing this with as many people as you possibly know. I have a goal to grow this channel, so the YouTube channel. And this year, that's one of my biggest things that I'm pouring into, but also to reach as many people as humanly possible. I want to have an impact on millions of lives, not just thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I want to have an impact on millions of people's lives who they hear my voice, they get inspired and say, yeah, you're right, Brie. I deserve when I get put in the dirt for people to say, dang, what a life they lived. What an impact they made. Thank you, Lisa. You guys may not know, or you may know, on Sunday, okay, so Sunday Friday, 5th, I believe. Yes, Sunday the 5th, okay, 7 p.m. Central Time, I am hosting a workshop. It's $27. Okay, I will post the link here in just a minute, but it is about starting and scaling a business using social selling. Okay, so it's all about how to do it online. If that's something you're interested in, or you know someone who is, I would love to have them. So here's what I guarantee on that: it's $27. I made it a dummy offer. Okay, like there's no should I don't know. It's like, yeah, this would be silly not to just, it's $27. Let's sign up for it. But I do promise you'll get thousands of dollars worth of knowledge and value from the 60-minute session that I'm going to do this Sunday from 7 p.m. Central to 8 p.m. Central. So if you're interested in that, you can also comment below, just say link, and I will drop the link into your comment so that it will go directly to you. Remember, share this out to as many people as possible. Make sure you're clicking the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Goodbye and God bless everybody.